Chapter 2437. After a round of chatting, Yi Mufan sensed Yi Wanwan's absent-mindedness and asked, "What are you thinking about? Why are you so distracted?" Liang Wanjun quickly inquired, "Are you too tired? How about you go to your room and rest?" Yi Wanwan shook her head. "No." In the end, Yi Wanwan took a deep breath before pulling out a document file from her bag and looking at Liang Wanjun, Yi Xiaoting, and Yi Mufan. "Dad, Mom, brother, I actually came back this time because I have a very important matter to confess to you." Liang Wanjun's fingers clenched and she glanced at Yi Xiaoting. "Very important matter?" Yi Xiaoting gently patted Liang Wanjun's hand before looking at Yi Wanwan and asking, "What is it, Wanwan?" Yi Mufan frowned deeply. "Just what is it? Why are you so solemn? Don't tell me." Yi Mufan's gaze shifted between Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan before landing on the document file in her hand. "Don't tell me you have an accident from your wildness? Yi Wanwan, you aren't premaritally pregnant, right? Is that a physical exam from the hospital? Are you distracted because you're afraid Dad and Mom will beat you?" Yi Mufan's fairly tightly packed hypothesis dissipated all of Yi Wanwan's suppressed grim emotions. She was rendered speechless. Even Si Yihan's expression was difficult to describe. As soon as Yi Mufan spoke, Liang Wanjun harshly slapped him on the head. "Damn punk, what nonsense are you spouting? Do you think Wanwan is as inappropriate as you?" Yi Xiaoting also agreed. Even if Wanwan really was pregnant, that'd be a wonderful thing. Yi Mufan's expression was dark as he grumbled in displeasure at once. "Dad, you were just telling me last month that you'd break my legs if I dared to get a girl pregnant before marriage." Yi Xiaoting said, "I did say that. Is there a problem with that?" Yi Mufan choked, disbelief filling him. He grievously whispered, "I see it now. Between Wanwan and I'm actually the one who isn't the biological child." Yi Mufan's words sent the living room into silence. Yi Wanwan was dazed for a few seconds before slowly realizing something. What did Yi Mufan's words mean? From Liang Wanjun's, "I thought you'd never come back," when she arrived at the airport earlier, to the understanding that seeped into Liang Wanjun and Yi Xiaoting's eyes when they heard she had something important to confess to them. And then Yi Mufan's careless words just now. Yi Wanwan furtively asked, "Dad, Mom, you know?" Liang Wanjun and Yi Xiaoting didn't speak at first, as if they didn't know how to respond. In the end, it was Yi Mufan who scratched his head and replied, "Ahem, are you talking about how you aren't my younger sister? If that's the matter, then we do already know." Yi Wanwan was dumbfounded for a moment before it was replaced by astonishment. She didn't expect them to have already known about this matter that she found so hard to explain. "How did you know?" Yi Mufan was quiet for a moment before sighing. "My sister was overseas for a pretty long time and didn't spend a lot of time with us, so I really didn't notice at first. If you had kept acting so foolishly and had an absolutely awful taste in men and terrible flirting skills, I never would have suspected anything for my whole life. However, I'm at least certain of one thing. No matter what happens, genetics can't change abruptly. Even if a person suffered trauma and experienced some changes in their personality, their abilities couldn't undergo such a great transformation in such a short period of time. Whether it's your martial arts skills or some of your professional abilities, my sister couldn't accomplish those. Oh right, there's also your taste. That man next to you? He's completely different from the type my sister liked. Since she was young, my sister has only liked the fake gentleman type like Gu Yueza." Chapter 2438. Yi Wanwan turned blank for a while after hearing Yi Mufan. She never expected the always unreliable Yi Mufan to also have such a meticulous side. "When did you start suspecting it?" Yi Mufan thought about it. "I don't remember clearly. There were many things, but it was probably when you suddenly changed your attitude toward Shinmingqi. At first, it was just those little changes, so I didn't think too much about it. The time that made me distinctly suspicious was probably when." Yi Wanwan looked up. Yi Mufan coughed and gulped as if there were still lingering fears inside him. The time you punched a giant hole in the hood of Gong Su's sports car." Yi Wanwan's expression froze and she wordlessly clutched her forehead. "All right, so it was the time she got drunk and went crazy." Later, I thought about everything from the beginning and realized you seriously changed too dramatically. You were clearly a fragile and delicate girl, but you would always stand in front of us and could resolve everything no matter what. You had a bad memory since you were a child, but now you suddenly have a photographic memory. Although it was plausible you learned some martial arts, you absolutely couldn't be that fearsome, Yi Mufan said as he sifted through his memories. So you went and did a DNA test because you suspected my identity? Yi Wanwan asked furtively. Yi Mufan shook his head. No. No matter how I suspected you, I never did a test. I just secretly mentioned it to Dad and Mom a few times in a roundabout way. Yi Mufan smiled helplessly. In truth, I could tell that Dad and Mom also had some doubts, but like me, they also partially thought it was impossible. The other part was that they both subconsciously avoided this topic. Yi Wanwan was confused. Then how? Then how did you confirm it? Although Yi Wanwan didn't finish her sentence, Yi Mufan knew what she wanted to say and glanced at the man next to her. A few months ago, your man suddenly visited in the middle of the night and told us the truth. Yi Wanwan turned to look at Si Yihan in shock. Ajio told you? Why didn't I know anything? Yi Wanwan never expected Si Yihan to have told them the truth that long ago. Yi Mufan nodded. Back then, we did faintly sense something was off about you, but hearing the truth from his mouth was still too hard to accept. Then he just stood outside the door and waited, and also apologized to Dad, Mom, and me. Shock covered Yi Wanwan's face. She had no idea this happened. Yi Wanwan looked at the man next to her again. Why did you come back by yourself to do this? Si Yihan calmly replied. Considering your personality, after learning about your true identity, you definitely couldn't bear to conceal it from them and would tell them the truth. It was my fault to begin with, so you shouldn't have to bear this weight. Yi Wanwan hadn't anticipated Si Yihan would even consider that. He knew she valued her relationships and didn't want her to face it alone, so he helped her handle everything long ago. Bitter and complicated emotions swelled in Yi Wanwan's chest. She didn't know what to say. What do you mean it's your fault? You only did it because of me. It was me who was too weak and didn't have the courage to face everything, so I selfishly asked you to help me forget those memories. Even if an explanation was needed, it should have been me who explained. Chapter 2439. It was because of her weakness and avoidance. Yet he unconditionally followed and indulged her wishes and supported her by himself. He even took the Yi family into consideration for her. Liang Wanjun and Yi Xiaoting's emotions were more stable now. Yi Xiaoting said, "At first, Wanjun and I both couldn't accept this reality, so we didn't accept his apology and he stayed standing outside the door." Yi Xiaoting sighed. Later, we calmed down. Thinking back on it, in a twist of fate, this matter also saved our family. Yi Xiaoting's mind drifted as he replied, "Back then, when my daughter was studying overseas, she encountered a riot and everyone lost their lives in a blazing inferno in that riot without a single survivor. Because the explosion was too strong, no one's remains were preserved." Yi Xiaoting took a deep breath and continued, "Back then, Wanjun was too heavily affected and her mental state deteriorated. She didn't drink or eat the whole day, and her health worsened more and more. She even tried to commit suicide several times. It wasn't until one day 3 years ago that we found our daughter. She was blessed and was saved by a kind passerby. She merely suffered some injuries and lost some of her memories. Because our daughter was found, Wanjun finally lifted her head and we never doubted you weren't our daughter." Yi Wanwan replied with difficulty, "I'm very sorry. Back then, my memories were replaced already. I didn't intentionally deceive you, but it was me who caused this to happen, so there's no defending myself." Yi Xiaoting sighed. Mr. C already explained the general circumstances to us. Although Si Yihan withheld the more confidential bits, he sincerely explained the general events to Yi Xiaoting and Liang Wanjun. Yi Wanwan closed her eyes. "Apologies. I've caused a lot of trouble for you." Yi Xiaoting looked at the girl in front of him and said while pained, "Although I don't know how memory replacement works, you were truly identical to our old Wanwan. If it was our Wanwan, the things she would have done actually wouldn't be all too different from what you did. Back then, the second branch already wanted to target us, so the outcome would be the same even if it was a different Wanwan. And with such a useless father like me, Wanwan's fate wouldn't be any better right now even if she survived. It was us parents who weren't able to protect our daughter well, Dad, Yi Wanwan hoarsely protested. Don't say that. You're a wonderful father. Yi Shouting took a deep breath. You though, you, a single girl, stood your own ground and protected the entire Yi family by yourself. I truly can't blame you for anything. Moreover, these past few years, your mom and I have truly been very grateful that you came to our side. Tears flowed down Liang Wanjuan's face as she said, no matter what, we can't change the truth that my daughter has passed away. The heavens have already bestowed us with a blessing by letting you come to our side. This was why I didn't dare to expose anything despite all the oddities I discovered. It wasn't until Mr. C told us the truth and completely shattered my hopes. I really couldn't accept it at first, but Liang Wanjun stared at Yi Wanwan. But Mom's more afraid that you'll leave. I'm afraid you'll also leave me forever. Chapter 2440. After learning the truth, Liang Wanjun struggled in agony. She couldn't accept the truth that her daughter was dead through and through. More than that though, she couldn't accept the girl, who'd kept her company all these years and whom she completely treated as her own daughter, could leave her and disappear from her life. Yi Wanwan hastily grasped Liang Wanjuan's hand. Mom, I won't. I was only afraid you couldn't forgive my deceit. If you're willing, I'll be your daughter my whole life. Wanwan. Tears poured down Liang Wanjuan's face like rainfall, and she sobbed as mother and daughter tightly hugged each other. Yi Mufan gently patted Liang Wanjuan's shoulders in comfort. Later on, during that period in between, we knew the truth, but we feigned ignorance and kept in contact with you like normal. On one hand, we didn't know how to face you, but on the other hand, we were also afraid. We were afraid that you'd leave if we addressed the elephant in the room. And if you left, we wouldn't have any reasons to keep you. After all, you aren't actually related to us. Yi Wanwan instantly glared at Yi Mufan. At least I've been your sister for so long. Am I that ungrateful? I've already planned to hold my wedding in China as Yi Wanwan. Of course, that's if you'll allow it. After all, this identity doesn't belong to me. Yi Mufan's eyes shot open. You're getting married? Yi Wanwan retorted, isn't that why I came back to discuss the exact date with Dad and Mom? Liang Wanjun and Yi Shouting met each other's eyes, seeing each other's euphoria. You're holding your wedding in China? But for such an important event, you should allow your real parents to decide. Yi Wanwan quickly responded, I've discussed it with my parents and grandpa already. They all agree to me holding it here. At that time, they can come to China, and we can invite our friends over here too. Liang Wanjun and Yi Shouting didn't expect Yi Wanwan would choose to get married with the Yi family. They were touched. If you're willing, of course you can. They couldn't personally witness their daughter get married anymore, so this would fulfill one of their dreams. That evening, Yi Wanwan escorted Si Yihan to the front door. I'll stay with my dad and mom for now, and I'll go see Grandma tomorrow, Yi Wanwan said. Okay. Yi Wanwan sighed. In truth, I can handle it myself. I'm not a child, I was a golden manager at least, alright? I'm best at handling all kinds of tricky problems. Si Yihan was so taciturn and inarticulate. She found it hard to imagine how he explained everything to the Yi family. The man intently stared at the girl's face with his ocean-like eyes. His large hand patted the top of her head extremely gently and his voice sounded like he was praising a child. You're very awesome. I know that. For some reason, Yi Wanwan's heart started speeding up again merely from his simple praise. Sunlight scattered across the man's icy eyes, melting them into a warm stream. He softly added, however, if I allowed you to handle everything yourself, then what would be the point of my existence? He clearly did so much, but he never said anything. With one simple word from her and a willful request, he silently kept guard over her and never tried to explain himself even when he was misunderstood. Yi Wanwan smiled tenderly at this cold man who was also a gentleman. The best trade in my life was probably exchanging a Xiaobing for you. Chapter 2441. After leaving Golden Seas, Si Yihan returned to the ancestral Si residence first to visit his grandma before driving to Jin Garden and staying the night there. Meanwhile, Yi Wanwan was lying in her bed, a bit fatigued from spending the day on the plane. She was about to put down her phone and go to sleep when she saw the date on her phone. She abruptly rolled around and crawled back out of bed. Today was December 21st, so tomorrow was December 22nd, which was the winter solstice and also Si Yihan's birthday. In all the time she'd known Si Yihan, he never mentioned his own birthday and wasn't accustomed to celebrating his birthday. Yi Wanwan knew he didn't like to talk about his birthday, so she avoided mentioning it in the past. Later, when Tang Tang was staying with Yin Yuerong, he seemed to have talked about many things with Yin Yuerong, and Agio was brought up somewhere in the conversation. After they returned to Yun City, she conversed with Tang Tang, who mentioned Agio was born on a very cold winter night. She kept that in mind and had Tang Tang call Yin Yuerong to ask when Si Yihan's birthday was. Baby Tang Tang successfully completed his mission and figured out his dad's birthday, which was December 22nd. Today, she came back to China and saw her parents and was so preoccupied with revealing the truth to them, so she nearly forgot about it. Yi Wanwan glanced at the time on her phone. It was 10 p.m., midnight was 2 hours away. Thank goodness. There's still time. Yi Wanwan got out of bed and sprinted to Yi Shouting and Liang Wanjuan's room, asking them for her household registration booklet before going to Yi Mufan's room and knocking. Brother! Open the door, open the door! Yi Mufan opened the door, slippers on his feet and his posture slouched. What is it? I was about to sleep. Lend your car to me. I'm in a hurry. Yi Wanwan asked in a rush. Yi Mufan frowned. It's late. Why aren't you sleeping? Yi Wanwan quickly responded, tomorrow's my baby's birthday. It'll be 12 in 2 hours. I need to hurry over and give him a surprise, then wait in front of the civil administration office overnight so that we can become the first couple to be officially wed tomorrow morning. Isn't that so romantic? Stuffed with a bucket of dog food unexpectedly, Yi Mufan nearly suffocated. It took him a moment to regain his senses. You're a girl, can't you act more reserved? Yi Wanwan was incredulous. Are you kidding, brother? My baby is so outstanding. If I was reserved, I'd have no place left. Hurry, hurry, give me your key. Yi Shouting and Liang Wanjun appeared to have heard the commotion and also came out of their room. Yi Mufan immediately seized the opportunity to tattle on her. Dad, Mom, hurry and look at your daughter. She's stealing her household registration booklet in the middle of the night and wants to go get married to her man. Aren't you going to tell her off? Yi Shouting glared at his son. There's no stealing. I gave her the booklet. Yi Mufan. Liang Wanjun also softly said, it's good for young people to have passion. Mufan, it's too late now, so it's not safe for Wanwan to be out by herself. Drive her there. Yi Mufan. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Ma. Yi Wanwan then urged him gloatingly, let's go. Or else we won't make it in time. I need to say happy birthday to my baby the second 12 o'clock hits. Oh right, if you could help me find a box of fireworks, that'd be even better. Yi Mufan simply wanted to kill her with a slap. Fireworks my ass. Imperial City prohibits fireworks and firecrackers, alright. Chapter 2442. In the end, under pressure from his parents, Yi Mufan accepted his fate, got changed and drove Yi Wanwan. Forget it. It wasn't safe for her to travel there by herself. It wasn't safe for the pedestrians on the streets. Yi Mufan first drove Yi Wanwan to the ancestral Si residence so that Yi Wanwan could get Si Yihan's household registration booklet from Grandma Si. Who'd like a granddaughter-in-law as brassy as you? They'd probably be scared off by you. Just watch. His grandma will definitely kick you out. Yi Mufan grumbled derisively. However, 10 minutes later, Yi Wanwan came out again with a strikingly scarlet household registration booklet in her hand and a benevolent-looking elderly woman by her side. The elderly woman merrily grasped the girl's hand as she said, hurry on then, but take your time on the road. Do you need Grandma to get a driver for you? No need, Grandma. My brother came with me so he can drive me there. Great. Yi Mufan stared at this incredibly harmonious scene in front of him. Why was the script turned upside down? Was he lagging behind the times? Yi Wanwan looked at the time on her phone and estimated the time she had remaining. Hurry, 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 help me go buy fireworks. We can light them in the suburbs. Yi Wanwan urged. She still hadn't forgotten about this. Yi Mufan gritted his teeth. Is being allowed to light fireworks the main point? Where am I supposed to buy fireworks for you in the middle of the night? Don't you think you're being too awful to me, a single dog? What kind of sin did he commit to be forced to follow her this whole time and be stuffed with dog food the entire trip? It's all because you're my brother. Yi Wanwan blithely grinned. Brother, I know you treat me the best, better than my real brother. No, wait, you are my real brother. Yi Mufan glanced at her from the corner of his eyes, concealing the ecstasy in his eyes. Really? Of course. I remember there's a store nearby where we can buy them. Let's go there and try our luck. Thankfully, their luck was good and Yi Mufan really managed to buy a box of fireworks. After stuffing the car trunk full of fireworks, they made their way to Jean Garden. Brother, please. You just need to go to the lake in the back. That place is the most ideal. You can start lighting them when it's time. Yi Wanwan instructed him. Okay, leave it to me. After saying that, Yi Wanwan avoided the main entrance and scaled the wall in the back courtyard in order to surprise Si Yihan. She'd completely renovated Jean Garden once and planted it full of fruit trees and vegetables. Although it was winter right now, Yi Wanwan still saw many fruits that were in season and even saw a giant vegetable garden greenhouse in the distance. It was very down to earth. It appeared steward Su meticulously took care of the garden while she was gone, and the enormous garden was bustling with life and growth. Who's there? Yi Wanwan was wandering around when she heard a harsh shout, promptly followed by the sound of the slashing wind. Yi Wanwan extended her arm in a flash and blocked off the attack. Miss Wanwan. Surprise filled Su Yi's face when he saw the visitor. Miss Wanwan, why are you here? I'm not allowed to be here? Yi Wanwan raised her brows. You can. Of course you can. It's just, why did you come inside by scaling a wall? It'll be your 9th master's birthday when it's 12. I want to give him a surprise. Tomorrow's 9th master's birthday? Si Yihan really never celebrated his birthday, so even Su Yi had no clue about the exact date of Si Yihan's birthday. Chapter 2443, Steward Su, enough talking. I don't have time, I'm going to go now. Yi Wanwan shouted. All right, Miss Wanwan, but wait, 9th master probably isn't in his bedroom right now. Go to the loft on the top floor and take a look there. Su said. Yi Wanwan paused. The loft? Su Yi nodded. Yes, after coming back to Jean Garden, he went to the loft by himself. I heard 9th master isn't in a good mood on this day every year. Yi Wanwan furrowed her brows. Okay, got it. Yi Wanwan glanced at the time on her phone and rushed to the loft. There were 10 minutes left. Yi Wanwan sprinted to the top floor in one go before bursting through the door to the loft. Agio! Yi Wanwan called softly, but the loft was silent without a sound. Agio? What's going on? He doesn't seem to be here. Did he leave already? After calling a few more times, Yi Wanwan still didn't hear anyone, so she could only check elsewhere. Because she wanted to give him a surprise, she moved carefully and as quietly as possible. She could only covertly search room after room. In the end, she couldn't find him anywhere. He wasn't in the loft, the study, or the bedroom. Damn, where the heck did he go? Yi Wanwan watched the clock drop down to 3 minutes before midnight and spun around anxiously. Her birthday surprise. Was it going to be aborted prematurely just like this? 3 minutes. 2 minutes. Yi Wanwan was standing in front of the bedroom, about to look elsewhere, when her ears twitched and heard some shuffling from the bedroom. Yi Wanwan opened the bedroom door immediately. The noise seemed to have come from the bathroom. Damn. She was in too big a hurry earlier and only looked outside, not expecting him to be in the bathroom. Shit. I only have 1 minute left. Yi Wanwan had no presence of mind for anything else and launched toward the bathroom like a rocket, kicking open the door without a word. Bang! The door slammed against the wall, shaking from the impact. And so, with the man's stunned gaze on her, Yi Wanwan leaped toward him, maintaining her bullet speed. Si Yihan appeared to have just finished showering. His hair was wet and he still wasn't dressed, with only a white towel tied around his waist. Wanwan. Si Yihan's hands stayed poised inches from his hair with a towel in them, in the middle of drying his hair. He didn't expect Yi Wanwan to suddenly appear at all, staggering a step back when she barreled into her. Si Yihan immediately extended his arms to stabilize her and prevent her from falling. His expression was solemn as he asked, "Why did you come here? Did something happen?" Yi Wanwan ignored Si Yihan's inquiries and hastily made a shushing noise, signaling him to be quiet before peering down at her phone. She counted down, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. As Yi Wanwan counted, she scrambled to pull out a slender sparkler from her pocket and lit it with a lighter before turning off the bathroom light with a paw. Downstairs, the clock resounded as it struck midnight. At the same time, sizzle! The sparkler ignited and the faint but brilliant sparks illuminated the small bathroom, casting a glow on the girl's flushed, panting face as well as her mesmerizingly enchanting eyes. Si Yihan. The girl raised her sparkler as she stood on tiptoe and kissed the man on the lips. Her sweet and glutinous voice, accompanied by the sound of the fireworks and the chiming clock, rang next to his ears. Happy birthday! Chapter 2444, Si Yihan, Happy Birthday. Si Yihan felt as if there was a blazing flame dashing toward him along with the girl, and it slammed into his heart. Bang! Outside the window, a ball of light started small and rose in the night sky before exploding into a bright and resplendent flower, illuminating the entire sky. From the small window in the bathroom, Yi Wanwan faintly saw the fireworks outside and turned euphoric. Yi Mufan finally didn't let her down for once. "Baby, come here, come here." Yi Wanwan eagerly dragged Si Yihan to the balcony outside the bedroom. The second the balcony door opened, fireworks burst in front of their eyes, sprawling across the sky. Yi Wanwan looked at the fireworks in the sky while waving her sparklers and lamenting, "Sigh, I know this birthday celebration is a bit tacky, but I was pressed for time, so it was all I could do." Si Yihan looked at the girl in front of him, a myriad of emotions billowing in his chest. His voice was low and hoarse as he asked, "How did you know?" "I had baby Tang Tang ask Director Een." "Oh right, Su Yi told me you were in the loft and also said you're typically in a bad mood at this time every year, so how come today?" When Yi Wanwan charged into the bathroom, Si Yihan was showering and didn't appear to have any traces of sadness on his face, so Yi Wanwan couldn't help but find it odd. Si Yihan silently looked at the girl before replying, "Su Yi's right. My mood isn't too good every year at this time, but this year is different." "This year is different?" I'm in a very good mood this year." Yi Wanwan grinned. "Is it because we're about to get married?" Si Yihan didn't deny it and leaned down to kiss her on the lips. "Yes, it's because we're about to get married." Yi Wanwan enigmatically pulled 2 little booklets out of her pocket. "Then you'll definitely like my birthday present." Si Yihan looked at the 2 household registration booklets she was holding, his unfathomable eyes overflowing with a brilliant light and vibrant colors. It's our household registration booklets. We'll go and get our marriage license first thing tomorrow morning." Yi Wanwan paused a moment before continuing. "Oh right, I've taken care of our marriage license in the independent state already. We originally needed to go in person, but I asked Master to open the back door for us, so everything is taken care of." At the same time, Yi Lingjun, who was far away in the independent state, thought, "Ha, I've always abided by the principle of acting upright and honest as the president of the arbitration council. This is the first time I've opened the back door for someone, and it was to help my little disciple obtain a marriage license. Wasn't this using a sledgehammer to crack a nut? He was so powerful, so he should have at least pulled something big. But what could he do? A dad from his little disciple, and he'd help her do anything she wanted." Back in China, Yi Wanwan clicked open the photo album on her phone as she spoke and pulled up the photo of the marriage license that Yi Lingjun sent her. "Look." The marriage license in the independent state was also a red booklet. Gold-foiled letters were printed inside and the photo featured was one that she picked from her array of photos with Si Yihan. Hee hee, do you like your birthday this year? I know you don't like to celebrate your birthday, but I made the decision to help you celebrate without asking you. You aren't angry, right? Yi Wanwan asked nervously. I like it. The man leaned down again and fiercely kissed her lips. How could he dislike it? He'd always viewed the day he was born as a day of misfortune and calamity. Now, though, he'd never been as glad as this moment that he was brought into this world and was bestowed the chance to meet her. Chapter 2445. The next day, Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan went to the civil administration office early in the morning to obtain their marriage certificate. After obtaining the license, the first thing Yi Wanwan did was announce it to the world. Baby, come here. Take a picture with me. Yi Wanwan pulled Si Yihan toward her. She used the festive red backdrop that was the civil administration office and took a photo with him. Then Yi Wanwan clicked open her friend circle and also took a photo of their marriage certificate before posting it along with the photo of her and Si Yihan. She paired it with the description, I've traveled to many places and seen many sights, but no matter how far mountains and rivers stretch or how much flowers bloom like a piece of brocade, they aren't as good-looking as you. Yi Wanwan posted this using her main WeChat account which had many friends, including people from both China and the independent state. As soon as this status was posted, regardless of whether they were from China or the independent state, her entire friend circle exploded. Gong Su truly deserved the title of Gossip Prince. He successfully managed to be the first one to leave a comment. Due to being too emotional, he lost all ability to speak and could only drop a countless amount of exclamation marks. And then, Gong Su immediately screenshotted this status and sent it to their company WeChat group chat. This message and friend circle screenshot from Gong Su successfully forced all of the lurkers in the group out of silence. Luo Qin, Fei Yang, damn, what the heck is this? Where did you this photo? You PS'd it right? Gong Su, PS my ass. Brother Yi just posted this on her friend circle. Take a look yourself. Fei Yang, I've returned. It's true. Jiang Yanran. Wow, Wanwan actually got her certificate with President Xi. Congratulations, congratulations. Han Xinyu, Yi Bai's location tag is Imperial City. When did she come back? Gong Su, going to socially withdraw. I actually had no idea when brother came back. And I only found out brother Yi got married from her friend circle. Am I really not brother Ye's most beloved little darling anymore? Luo Qin, when were you ever? Gong Su, do you want to fight, Luo Qin? What time is this? Why are you still fighting with me? Brother Yi has been stolen. Upon seeing the chaos in the group chat, Yi Mufan finally appeared late to the scene. Yi Mufan, calm down. Gong Su, how could I be calm? Say, Qiu Yi, aren't you too awful? You must have known already, right? Why didn't you tell us earlier? Fei Yang, that's right. Qiu Yi, it's your bad for causing us to be stuffed a mouthful of dog food so unexpectedly. I wasn't prepared at all. Yi Mufan. Heh, you've eaten this little bit of dog food. Is it a big deal? Because today is Si Yihan's birthday, she insisted on preparing a birthday surprise for her man at midnight last night, so she ordered me to drive her across half of the Imperial City. Not only did she steal household registration booklets, but she also went searching for fireworks all over the city. After that was done, I had to go to the lakeside and endure the chilly wind in the middle of the night to help her release fireworks and make it romantic. What? You've only seen a status update yet you feel wronged? Gong Su, it looks like you're the more tragic one, Tao Yi, haha, Fei Yang, plus 10,086. Xiao Yi is more tragic? Jiang Yanran, Brother Mufan, you've suffered. If they had dog food scattered over their faces, then Yi Mufan was probably directly sitting on a mountain of dog food. Chapter 2446. When Yi Wanwan's post was published in her WeChat friend circle, the people in the independent state also saw it naturally. The first person to notice it was Big Dipper. Big Dipper's eyes shot open. Damn. Sis Feng and Lord Azura got their marriage certificates in China. Are they at rocket speed? Isn't this too fast? First Elder, Third Elder, and 7-star turned to Big Dipper at once. First Elder asked, What? The President received her marriage certificate with Lord Azura? Third Elder exclaimed, Are you for real? The President actually got married? Fu Mingxi darted over and grabbed Big Dipper by the collar. What nonsense are you spouting? That's impossible. With the President's personality, even if she liked Lord Azura, she absolutely wouldn't get married to him. Big Dipper shrugged. There's no use shouting at me. You'll see when you look at Sis Feng's friend circle. Of course, I personally advise you not to look at it. There was no way Fu Mingxi wouldn't look. He pulled out his phone and clicked open Yi Wanwan's friend circle and instantly saw Yi Wanwan's PDA-filled status. The attached photos were a photo of the bright red marriage certificate and a selfie of the couple. In the photo, Lord Azura's stunningly bewitching face didn't need additional mentioning, and a bright and beautiful smile was spread across their own president's face. Fu Mingxi had always known his president was beautiful, but this was his first time realizing she could be this beautiful. That smile was warm and brilliant, as though she was an angel whose wings were spread behind her. When Fu Mingxi managed to finally pull away from the photo, he noticed the description that his president wrote. I've traveled to many places and seen many sights, but no matter how far mountains and rivers stretch or how much flowers bloom like a piece of brocade, they aren't as good-looking as you. Big Dipper saw Fu Mingxi's face draining of color and his figure swayed as if about to fall. He exasperatedly said, I told you to not look at it. Who can tolerate this PDA-filled dog food? I want to die from how stuffed I feel. Fu Mingxi tightly clutched his phone. Impossible. This is impossible. The president clearly said her wish was the starry universe. Big Dipper reflexively finished for the other man. Fu Mingxi glared at him. It's a harem of 3,000. But that does sound like something our Sis Feng would say, Big Dipper mumbled. First Elder and Third Elder also nodded in agreement. First Elder mused, as I said, Sir Lord Azura is very good. Third Elder also added, exactly. He was actually crafty enough to make our president abandon her harem of 3,000 and willingly jump into the grave of marriage. As Fu Mingxi listened to their discussion, his face turned livid. Big Dipper clapped Fu Mingxi on the shoulder and comforted him. Xiaoming, you should give up. Don't tell me you don't understand what Sis Feng meant by posting those words? Fu Mingxi's face was chilly. What did she mean? Big Dipper murmured, no matter how far mountains and rivers stretch or how much flowers bloom like a piece of brocade, they aren't as good-looking as you. Isn't that the same as saying wildflowers aren't as fragrant as her flower at home? Sis Feng is clearly telling you she currently only likes this one flower she has at home, and all the flowers outside don't enter her sight. Fu Mingxi was dumbfounded for a moment before bursting into tears, and he sobbed, unwilling to give up so easily. But wait, the president posted a marriage certificate from China, not the independent state. That's right, a marriage certificate from China doesn't mean anything. As soon as Fu Mingxi said that, he saw Big Dipper refreshing the page with his finger and said, Oh my, Sis Feng posted a second identical status. Oh wait, there's a third photo this time. HM? That looks like a marriage certificate from the independent state? Fu Mingxi. Chapter 2447. Yi Wanwan allowed everyone to see her first friend's circle update but limited the second status to only her friends from the independent state. After posting this, Si Yihen also followed her lead and posted 2 updates cooperatively. His photos were identical to what Yi Wanwan posted, but the description he posted was, You're the flowers, you're the rivers, you're the mountains, you're my whole world. If Yi Wanwan's affectionate words sent people's teeth aching from the sweetness, then Si Yihen's post almost sent people's eyes popping out from shock. Others didn't dare to say anything, but Jiang Lihan directly left a comment on his post and complained, Shit! My wretched eyes! What kind of sin did I commit to have to see this post? His words echoed everyone's opinion. Xie Qianchuan looked surprised. I didn't expect them to really get married. Jiang Lihan pursed his lips. They're planning to get married in China? I absolutely won't go. I'm not sure, Xie Qianchuan replied. As the duo spoke, they were pulled into a group chat almost simultaneously. The person who added them was Yi Wanwan, but they weren't the only ones pulled into the group chat. There were also many leaders and members of various groups and factions in the independent state. After adding everyone, Yi Wanwan at everyone and specially notated all of her aliases. After all the different commotion she caused in the independent state, she'd basically exposed all of her aliases and didn't need to be secretive about them. She also didn't need to conceal her identities over in China. Hence, Yi Wanwan's current name was Yi Wanwan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nye plus Ianma. Yi Wanwan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nye plus Ianma. My baby and I are getting married this month. Come to China to attend the wedding banquet, everyone. Remember to give me your gift money. It's fine if you don't have cash, you can transfer some to me too. Jiang Lihan, Xie Qianchuan, Shen Tianchen. Yi Wanwan's eye-grabbing nickname was seriously too flabbergasting. And her mention of gift money also rendered people speechless. For a moment, all the leaders in the group didn't know where to start bitching, causing the chat to descend into a strange silence. In the end, it was still Jiang Lihan who spoke first. Jiang Lihan, damn, your wedding is so far away. Who'd have the time to run all the way over there? Wouldn't they be spending money to ask for torture? Jiang Lihan's words echoed everyone's thoughts again. Yi Wanwan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nye plus Ianma. Oh, that's fine too. If it's not convenient for you guys to come, I can just hold 12 weddings in the independent state. My baby and I can hold a wedding with every single one of our identities. Let me count, 12 weddings might not be enough. Jiang Lihan was stunned. Damn, are you freaking kidding me? I've only heard of concert tours. This is my first time hearing about a wedding tour. Si Yihan, why don't you control your wife? Si Yihan, 12 weddings isn't suitable. Jiang Lihan, see, you're delusional. Si Yihan, we can round it to a whole number. Jiang Lihan, whole number? Si Yihan, 100 weddings. All the leaders. Jiang Lihan, are you freaking trying to get rich from your weddings and overtake the Shen family? Yi Wanwan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nye plus Ianma. Wow, baby, you're too clever. Why didn't I think of such a good way to make money? Jiang Lihan. Chapter 2448. In the end, everyone in the group obediently started saying congratulations and ardently insisting the couple didn't need to go through the trouble of holding so many weddings. They'd definitely go to China to attend their wedding and bring their gift money. What followed was a myriad of preparations for the wedding. Yi Wanwan was being given away from the Golden Seas mansion in China. She ordered 2 wedding outfits for the day of the wedding, a red qipao and a white wedding dress. Her bridesmaids were Jiang Yanran, Autumn Water, Hai Tang, and Medusa, while the groomsmen were Lin Ke, Jiang Lihan, Xie Qianchuan, and Xie Zhi. At Golden Seas, at first light, the bridesmaids accompanied Yi Wanwan to get dressed and have her makeup done. It wasn't long before it was time for the bride to be escorted to the wedding, and the outside of the house bustled with noise and excitement. Autumn Water turned to look outside the window. Ahem, are you sure there really won't be a problem inviting all those guys from the independent state to China, Xiaofeng? Yi Wanwan raised her brows. What problem would there be? Autumn Water exasperatedly replied, please, Xiaofeng, every single one of those guys have such great martial strength and can overturn the world in China. You've placed so many of them together. Who could suppress them if they started making a scene? Yi Wanwan mumbled, they probably won't, right? Hai Tang chuckled. I'm afraid it won't be so easy for Lord Azura to walk through the door today. Medusa winked and teased, my little junior sister isn't so easy to marry, so this is just a type of test. Oh right, isn't there also a custom of hiding the bride's shoes in China? Jiang Yanran hastily said, that's right. I was just wondering what would be a good place to hide them. Hai Tang mischievously suggested, I have an idea. I guarantee the groom and his men absolutely won't find it. I've done my homework. Jiang Yanran asked curiously, where are you putting it? Haitang pulled her skirt to the side. I'm tying it to my thigh. Who will freaking find it now? Autumn Water broke into guffaws. Haha, you're too cunning. Give me the other one. I'll tie it to myself. Jiang Yanran was amazed from the sidelines. Who will freaking find that? Yi Wanwan glowered at her own bridesmaids. Tell me the truth. Do you two not want me to get married at all? At the same time, outside the mansion's gates, Si Yihan's escort motorcade had arrived. Si Yihan wore a custom-made, haute couture suit with a groom's boutonniere attached to his lapel. The door opened and his slender legs stretched out of the car. The second he stepped out and appeared in front of the gates, the people crowded there reflexively gasped. Fuck, aren't Lord Azura's looks a bit heaven-defying today? He's seriously, stunningly captivating. No wonder our president is under tight reins. Hey, quiet. Don't forget our job. That's right, that's right. We have an important mission today. And so, a group of people decisively blocked the front gates. Next to Si Yihan, Lin Kei saw the dense group and gulped. Ninth brother, why do I suddenly have an ominous feeling? The reality proved that Lin Kei's premonition was fairly accurate. After Si Yihan led his groomsmen out of the cars, what they faced was, Yi Mufan, you'll have to pass me before you can marry my sister. Gong Su aggressively led Luo Qin, Han Xinyu, Fei Yang, Chu Feng and the others. You'll have to pass us before you can marry my brother Yi. Big Dipper led second elder, Fu Mingxi, first elder, second elder, third elder, and company, you'll have to pass us before you can marry our president. Shen Tianxian led a group of mercenary experts he hired. You'll have to defeat my people before you can marry my goddess Worryless. Lingjun smiled faintly. Sigh, I only have one precious daughter after all, so you'll have to undergo some tests before you can marry my daughter. Si Yihan. Xiezhi looked at Si Yihan's gradually darkening face and chuckled aloud. Agio, doesn't your wife have a few too many identities? Jiang Lihan's lips twitched. Just a few too many? It's probably 100 times more difficult for him to get married this time compared to other people. I must have committed some wretched sin to have agreed to be your groomsman. Xie Qianchuan sighed. What should we do now? They have the advantage in numbers. I don't think we can defeat them. Chapter 2449. Inside the house, Yi Wanwan, who was secretly watching through the slit in the door, was stupefied. Damn, are they for real? They're freaking trying to make trouble. She never ever expected that having so many aliases would lead to such a wretched situation. Si Yihan's face was devoid of any expression as he looked at the mass of people in front of him. Ninth brother. This is too. I don't think they plan to allow you and ninth sister to get married at all. Lin Kei grumbled. Who could resist this? Does that mean I don't have to give my gift money? Jiang Lihan chuckled. As soon as Jiang Lihan said that, he felt Si Yihan's unfriendly gaze on him. Jiang Lihan laughed awkwardly. I'm just joking. I'll definitely give my gift money. Say, the top priority right now is to think about how we should properly protect the groom and escort him inside. Lin Kei said to the other groomsmen. Escort him inside? How? There are so many people guarding the door. It looks pretty hard. If we really can't, we'll fight our way inside. You go. We'll cheer for you back here. While Si Yihan and his group were blocked, a person suddenly walked out of the house. Nameless Nye passed through all the people blocking the gates and stopped next to Si Yihan. You'll have to pass me before you can stop my brother-in-law today. When everyone saw Nameless Nye actually joining Si Yihan's side, their eyes shot open. Damn. Nameless Nye. What is he doing? Shen Tianxian protested. Hey, Nameless Nye, isn't there something off here? You're part of the bride's family. You should be standing on the bride's side. Si Yihan nodded at the newcomer and greeted him, eldest brother. A jubilant grin spread across Nameless Nye's face upon hearing that. Don't worry, brother-in-law. No one can stop you with me here today. Lin Kei, Xiezhi, Jiang Lihan, and Xie Qianchuan. No wonder you were so calm. You had a contingency plan. Lin Kei clicked his tongue. You're impressive, ninth brother. The guards at the door instantly became chagrined when they heard Nameless Nya. They couldn't stop them? The mere groom and groomsman weren't enough to even be an appetizer. All right. Fine. Just try if you're so capable. If we allow you to enter that easily, I'll write my name backward. Yi Mufan snorted. That's right. It won't be so easy for you to enter. Big Dipper agreed. Don't even think about entering. On Si Yihan's side, Lin Kei was instantly riled up. I have a hot temper. Do you think you're so scary because you have a lot of people? Let's fight then. I refuse to believe we can't escort the groom inside. Nameless Nya glanced at Lin Quebec. Why do we need to fight for no reason? Lin Kei was dumbfounded. How would we enter other than fighting? Do you think they'd let us through that easily? You're delusional, Nameless Nya sighed softly. Have you heard of a saying? What saying? Lin Kei reflexively replied. Nameless Nya didn't answer Lin Kei and marched forward instead. His expression was grave as he reached inside his jacket. What's he doing? He isn't pulling out a gun, right? That's going too far, Lin Kei jolted in fright. Nameless Nya was acting like he was about to fight to the death with someone. Nameless Nya stopped in front of Yi Mufan, Big Dipper, and the others, his eyes sweeping over the people. Then, in front of everyone, Nameless Nya pulled out a stack of red envelopes and smiled faintly. Everyone, please extend me a courtesy. Chapter 24:50 Big Dipper opened the red envelopes. When he saw the $5 and $2 notes, the corner of his lips twitched. Gong Su's expression also contorted while Yi Mufan was dumbfounded. Wasn't he looking down on them too freaking much? Out of all these red envelopes, the largest amount was a $5 bill while the smallest amount was a $1 bill. Plus, $1 bills filled at least 90% of the red envelopes. There were so many red envelopes, but the amount probably didn't even add up to $200 when you combine them. Are you serious? Yi Mufan subconsciously blurted out as he clutched the $1 bill in his hand. Consider this money as my admission fee. Extend us a courtesy, Nameless Nya genially said. Extend a courtesy your ass. At least show some sincerity. It doesn't have to be a lot, but at least put $100 in each red envelope. You put $1 inside yet you want us to show you some courtesy? Yi Mufan felt a fire burning in his chest. Was he really Wan Wan's freaking biological brother? 100. Nameless Nya furrowed her brows. If each red envelope had $100, how much money would I need to fill so many red envelopes? It'd be quicker if you went and robbed someone. Lin Kei, Jiang Lihan, Si Yihan, everyone, damn. SpongeBob SquarePants? What's SpongeBob SquarePants? Big Dipper dumbfoundedly turned to a spot behind the groomsmen. There was really a giant SpongeBob SquarePants walking toward them. Huh. Lin Kei stared at the SpongeBob SquarePants that had reached him. What the heck was this? Who are you? Jiang Lihan inquired curiously. Why would someone wear a SpongeBob SquarePants costume and come to this place? Me. An apathetic voice was heard from inside the SpongeBob SquarePants costume. When Lin Kei heard this extremely distinctive voice, he shuddered. "So, piece of shit's voice? Brother E, why did you show up here in this outfit?" Jiang Lihan couldn't understand why the other man was wearing this. "I went to the wedding location," Yi Shuihan replied. "But the wedding hasn't started yet, right?" Lin Kei's lips twitched. "I went early," Yi Shuihan said. "In other words, you went to the wrong location, right?" Yi Shuihan answered. Everyone, Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan's wedding was taking place at an animation-themed park, which they had reserved completely. Every wedding guest had to wear a cartoon-themed costume to enter. It appeared Yi Shuihan mistook the time, went to the wedding venue early and wore this costume. "Why didn't you take it off?" Jiang Lihan asked. SpongeBob SquarePants contemplated for a moment before replying, "Troublesome." Jiang Lihan, it was rather troublesome. "Lil shit, you came here at the perfect time. Hurry up and take care of these people. They won't let us enter," Nameless Nya shouted at SpongeBob SquarePants. "You think a mere SpongeBob SquarePants will be enough?" Even if it's Yi Shuehan, we aren't afraid of him in such a giant costume. Why are you looking at me? I dare you to fight us in that costume. Big Dipper mocked. Immediately, First Elder, Third Elder, 7-star, and the other people tacitly took a step back and ostracized Big Dipper completely. Big Dipper, calm down all of you. Isn't that enough? I'll bite whoever dares to stop my wedding today to death. At this moment, Yi Wanwan charged outside in her wedding dress while holding her skirt up. Since when did brides come dashing out themselves? Yi Mufan was dumbstruck. This didn't match the storyline. Sigh. No matter how difficult the test is, it can't withstand a vehement wish to marry. Yi Lingjun shook his head. Chapter 2451. The girl bounded toward him like a ball of sun, illuminating the entire world in his eyes. Si Yihan's eyes were brimming with a gentle warmth, but when his gaze landed on her bare feet, his brows furrowed. Why aren't you wearing shoes? He hastily leaned over and picked up the girl. Closely following behind Yi Wanwan were Haitang and Autumn Water's panting voices as each carried a shoe. Autumn Water, shit! How could you run out here like this? What kind of bride acts like this? Haitang, why can't you follow the formula? If I followed the formula, would I still get married? Do you know how difficult it was for me to be able to get married to my baby? Yi Wanwan was being carried in Si Yihan's arms, but she didn't forget to relay her commands. Why are you standing there? McWay. Sis Fong. Big Dipper hastily scrambled to lay out the red carpet. Gong Su cowered as soon as he saw Yi Wanwan and also miserably carried the flower basket and scattered rose petals for her. Shintunshin and his mercenaries also feebly shrunk to the back. In the end, due to direct interference from the bride, Si Yihan successfully entered the house. After carrying out ceremonial components of the wedding, everyone headed to the wedding venue. There's someone else getting married inside today. SpongeBob SquarePants, Shuehan said. What? Didn't we book the whole venue? Yi Mufan was surprised. I don't know, Yi Shuehan replied. When they reached the theme park, the reception staff hastily came out. What's going on? Didn't we book the whole venue? There's someone else getting married inside? Gong Su was very unhappy. The manager was soaked with sweat. He was well aware of this group's background, and they did reserve the whole park. However, they had no choice. There was also another fearsome figure getting married today, and their background was also powerful. The staff didn't dare to provoke either of them. Sorry, I'm truly sorry, but we had no choice. How about this? All fees will be on the house today. Can you please compromise a little? The manager asked. On the house? Do you think I don't have that money? Yi Mufan was instantly enraged. This wasn't a matter of money. Can I ask how much the fees will be? Nameless Nye instantly asked. After learning the amount, Nameless Nye looked at Yi Mufan and the others. It's such a large venue. There's enough room for 20 couples to get married, so why are you acting so unreasonable? Yi Mufan, so it's my fault, huh? Return the money to my account later. Does that work? Nameless Nye suggested to the manager in good humor. Yes. That's not a problem at all. The manager nodded vehemently. Hurry and enter the park. Nameless Nye waved his hand and acted like a leader. Everyone could only follow Nameless Nye inside the wedding venue and changed into the stuffed costumes waiting for them. Originally, there would have been enough costumes, but since there was another group using some, there weren't enough costumes remaining. Yi Wanwan's eyes turned. She didn't forcefully demand the other guests to wear costumes but made everyone from the independent state change into the stuffed costumes so that they wouldn't cause any trouble at the wedding venue. They could at least get a break with the costumes on. Tut, she was seriously too clever. This was the best method to seal someone's martial strength. Yi Wanwan herself changed into a little Red Riding Hood outfit while Si Yihan was outfitted as the Big Bad Wolf. And so, a majestic parade of dolls entered the castle. Chapter 2452. However, as soon as everyone entered the castle, they were dumbfounded. It was packed with people and a couple appeared to be getting married inside. The groom was a Garfield, while the bride was an extremely beautiful girl dressed as a princess. Aside from the Garfield groom and princess bride, the other wedding guests were all wearing costumes. There was Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, as well as some weird, unrecognizable characters. SpongeBob SquarePants. It's you again. Are you here to cause trouble again? Donald Duck stared at SpongeBob SquarePants, Shuehan, and broke into shouts. Yi Wanwan was dumbfounded. What happened? Earlier, Shuehan remembered the time wrong and came here first. I'm guessing he caused havoc at their wedding, Lin Kei said as he slid to Yi Wanwan's side. Yi Wanwan face-bombed. What kind of sin did she commit? If she'd known, she shouldn't have asked Tang Tang to invite him. But it's not our fault. We reserved this park ahead of time, but they insisted on cramming in here too, Briar, Jiang Lihin said. We reserved this place. So we're already nice for not beating you up when you shamelessly stuffed your way inside. Bramble, too, Big Dipper ridiculed them. What? Beat us up? The Garfield groom snorted. What? You're unhappy? You better stifle it even if you're unhappy. If there wasn't a wedding today, I would have killed you with a punch, shouted Bramble. Yi Wanwan was exasperated. While that was true, they didn't pay a single cent. Didn't the manager already say that? They were going to return the money to Nameless Nya, so right now, they were actually using the other group's venue. Today was originally going to be a good day, but this is so irritating. The Garfield groom had just said that when everyone shockingly watched Garfield stop in front of Bramble extremely fast and kick Big Dipper, not giving the other man any time to react. That's to teach you a lesson, Garfield said. Misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding, Yi Wanwan quickly said. Today's my big day, alright? Can't they take a break? They were dressed like this already but still insisted on fighting. Itchem, I remember you. Didn't we meet at KFC? Garfield asked, turning to Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan was startled. When she first came to China with Big Dipper, 7-Star, and Third Elder, they did go eat at KFC once. Yi Wanwan suddenly remembered that man who was absurdly powerful and more beautiful than a woman. She also vaguely remembered the man had a girl with him and the girl called him God or something like that. You freaking dare to hit me? I'm gonna kill you. Bramble Big Dipper immediately dashed toward Garfield and swung a punch at him. However, a second later, Bramble was struck back by Garfield with a single move again. Why are you standing around? Help me hit him. Bramble Big Dipper screamed. Upon hearing that, all the Fearless Alliance experts charged toward Garfield in their cartoon costumes. What surprised Yi Wanwan was that the Fearless Alliance experts, including the elders, couldn't even get near Garfield and were all sent flying back a few seconds later. How could this man be so powerful? All these people were experts from the Fearless Alliance, yet they turned into soggy pieces of paper in front of him? SpongeBob SquarePants. Get your ass over here and accept your death. Garfield hooked his pointer finger towards SpongeBob SquarePants Shuehan. 1. Briar is the first bear brother from the animation Boonie Bears. 2. Bramble is the second bear brother from the animation Boonie Bears. Chapter 2453, You're provoking piece of shit? Everyone couldn't help but laugh in ridicule. This person was probably suicidal. SpongeBob SquarePants immediately walked forward. All the guests watched as Garfield and SpongeBob SquarePants got entangled together. From Garfield's side, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, and some others all started fighting with Big Dipper, Jiang Lihin, and the others. The scene was rather ugly as a myriad of experts in cartoon costumes had started brawling with each other in utter disarray. Some experts accidentally tumbled to the ground and continued to attack their opponents while rolling around. Yi Wanwan didn't know whether to cry or laugh as she watched this. Bam! A giant noise sent Yi Wanwan reeling back to reality. Yi Wanwan watched incredulously as SpongeBob SquarePants Shuehan was forced to retreat several steps. This was the first time in Yi Wanwan's life that she saw Shuehan ending up disadvantaged. Lil shit, you aren't doing so hot. Patrick Star Nameless Nya pointed at Shuehan and laughed. Heh, as if you're doing any better. Garfield glanced at Patrick Star and swung his soft and fluffy cat paw toward Patrick Star. Are you bullying me for not having any hands? Nameless Nye seemed to also be riled up after being forced several steps back too. Yi Wanwan stared closer. It was exactly as he said. The Patrick Star costume really didn't have any hands. He was just a pink starfish. I'll beat you to death. Patrick Star mercilessly headed toward Garfield headfirst. However, Garfield caught Patrick Star's head. Seeing this, SpongeBob SquarePants dashed forward and barreled Garfield several steps back. Soon, SpongeBob SquarePants Shuehan, Patrick Star Nameless Nye, and the Garfield groom rolled into a chaotic scuffle. Damn it. Lil shit, you hit me. I couldn't see, SpongeBob SquarePants Shuehan said. Hit that Garfield's head. Why are you hitting my head? He has a big head and I have a small head. Are you blind? I'm too fat, Garfield said. I don't have hands. Patrick Star Nameless Nye said. I couldn't see well, SpongeBob SquarePants Shuehan said. Nameless Nye, Shuehan, and Garfield tussled for ages. One would hit the other's chest and their crotch would be struck in return, resulting in no outcome even after all the fighting. Instead, it was Bramble Big Dipper and Donald Duck's fight that intensified. Eldest senior brother. Come and help me. This brat has a lot of helpers. Donald Duck shouted at Mickey Mouse. I'm wearing glasses, so it's not convenient. Mickey Mouse heartlessly rejected Donald Duck. Eldest senior brother, second senior brother. Damn it, stop fighting. Today's a joyful day, a Pikachu shouted. The speaking Pikachu was a girl, and she had an incredibly melodious voice. Little junior sister, Thunderbolt. Electrocute this damn bear for me. Donald Duck shouted. Pikachu yelled, Do you really freaking think I can release 100,000 volts? All the dolls present, the dolls from the independent state, never expected to witness someone this martially strong in China, especially that Garfield. His strength couldn't be described. SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star actually had to team up on him. Chapter 2454, Mommy, I'm Scared. Briar's head was knocked off by Donald Duck. Shortly after, a mini version of Pikachu timidly spoke as it grabbed the bigger Pikachu's tail. As soon as Pikachu saw the scared mini Pikachu, she was infuriated. Pikachu patted the little Pikachu on the head before sinking her energy into her dantian and furiously roaring at Garfield. Stop fighting. If you keep fighting, you don't have to bother getting married. Garfield froze. Instantly, SpongeBob SquarePants grabbed him by the ear and Patrick Star grabbed his nose. I want to get married today. I don't want to fight. What are you all doing? Garfield demanded. My younger sister is getting married. Patrick Star Nameless Nye answered. My disciple's mom is getting married, SpongeBob SquarePants Shuehan replied. A person, who was actually wearing a bok choy costume, walked over to the big and small Pikachu and shouted, It's all a misunderstanding. Everyone, please stop fighting. Enough. Stop fighting. Yi Wanwan also yelled exasperatedly. Everyone had no choice but to stop at once. You damn bear, Donald Duck cursed at Bramble. You damn duck. Bramble Big Dipper also retorted, not to be outdone. Donald Duck, duck? That sounded weird. Why did he feel like he was the one worse off? After everyone stopped, Yi Wanwan finally learned the entire story of the matter. It turned out Yi Shuehan went to the wrong location and thought the princess bride was her while Garfield was Si Yihan. Not only did he leech food and drinks from them, but he also wrecked their almost concluded wedding and messed up the process, so the other group had to restart. Sorry. We're really sorry. We originally reserved the whole venue, so SpongeBob SquarePants thought we were the only group here. Hai Tang apologized to Pikachu. It's fine. It's all a misunderstanding, and we were also in the wrong. Hurry on then. Don't delay yourselves, Pikachu said. Handless one and blind one, don't let me see you again. Garfield shouted. The handless nameless Nye, damn fatso, don't let me see you again. I'm going to hit you every time I see you. The blind Shuehan, After this all-out costume brawl ridiculousness concluded, everyone finally returned to their respective themed castle. As soon as Yi Wanwan's group entered their castle, stimulating music started to blast out. I walked by myself in the countryside. I'm bringing some sweets for my grandma to taste. She lives somewhere far and remote, so I have to worry if there's a big bad wolf nearby. When the sun sets over the mountains, I have to hurry home and step into dreamland with my mom. I walked by myself in the countryside. I'm bringing some sweets for my grandma to taste. She lives somewhere far and remote, so I have to worry if there's a big bad wolf nearby. Shit, rock and roll version of Little Red Riding Hood. Lin K was stunned. Why does it sound so demonic? Frigging awesome, Big Dipper gave a thumbs up. How could Sis Feng's version of Little Red Riding Hood not be demonic? She's probably a Little Red Riding Hood who carries a backsword on her shoulder while riding a motorcycle and chugging liquor. This was a freaking staggering opening. It's actually nothing. Didn't you hear it? That Garfield is playing KFC's theme song at his wedding? Everyone, Daddy, Mommy, I wish you a joyous marriage and eternal bliss, a small gray wolf doll said in a childish voice after walking over to Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan. Yi Wanwan patted the small gray wolf on the head and hugged him. Thank you, baby. Mommy loves you to death. Chapter 2455. From now on, Tang Tang can proudly say he attended his dad and his mom's wedding. Yi Mufan chuckled mischievously. After saying that, Yi Mufan wanted to cry. If he dared to have a child before marrying, his parents would have broken his legs eons ago. However, when they learned Wanwan's child was so old already, not only did they not shout at her, but they even cried from delight and celebrated joyously. Soon, the rock and roll version of Little Red Riding Hood finished and the solemn wedding march started playing. Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan, who had switched into a wedding dress and suit respectively, also walked up onto the stage hand in hand and received congratulations all around. When the wedding ceremony was about to conclude, Hai Tang walked toward Yi Wanwan. Worryless. It's time for me to give you an item. Yi Wanwan was startled. What item? Hai Tang pulled out a USB and handed it to Yi Wanwan. Your marriage still needs congratulations from one person. Who? Yi Wanwan asked. Ji Xiran, Hai Tang replied. Ji Xiran, Yi Wanwan murmured. That man still hadn't appeared to this day. Yi Wanwan immediately met Si Yihan's eyes. Si Yihan patted her hair and plugged the USB in. Under everyone's watch, the giant screen lit up. The man appeared to be located inside a warehouse. He was wearing a white shirt with an incredibly familiar and warm smile hanging on his face. A mere glance was all it took for Yi Wanwan to recognize the setting as the island that once imprisoned everyone. Sister Wanwan, hello. When Yi Wanwan heard Ji Xiran's form of address for her, she was startled. Ji Xiran had always called her Worryless, so why did he call her Wanwan here? Perhaps because he expected she'd hold her wedding in China, right? Yi Wanwan kept listening. Ji Xiran's lips turned up. If I guessed correctly, you're probably getting married today, right? After saying that, the man faced the camera but remained silent for a long time. Congratulations on finding your true home. I believe that your other half can guard and protect you for the rest of your life. The man continued with a smile a moment later. I'm very sorry and regretful I might not be able to personally attend your wedding. But thankfully, there's equipment here that can allow me to leave behind a token to express my congratulations to you. You don't need to worry about me. In truth, I've liked someone for a while. I originally wanted to let her live her life without worries, but unfortunately, I shouldered too many burdens. I couldn't fulfill my promise to her in the first half of my life, but I've decided that I will return to her side in the second half of my life and will never leave or abandon her until death strips me away. The current me has probably left the independent state to be with her. She likes ordinariness and placidness, free from the conflicts of the world. This is also the life I wish for. Si Yihan, some things are hard-earned. I hope you can treasure it well. If you dare to let down my sister one day, I'll turn you into ashes. Wanwan, remember, you must smile no matter what the future holds. Farewell. Below the stage, Haitang sighed softly. In the end, Ji Xiuran still wasn't able to let go of his final conviction. Otherwise, why would he call her Wanwan instead of Worryless in his congratulatory video? He still couldn't call someone else's bride Worryless. Main story end. Chapter 2456, Memory Volume. The northern part of the independent state was nearly devoid of human life. Standing at a spot was a youth in a snow-white shirt whose long, ink-like hair casually draped to his waist. He resembled a celestial being that belonged in a painting. "Young master, there's news from the southern battlefield." A teenager strode toward the youth. There wasn't a ripple in the youth's eyes, and there was an almost imperceptible smile hanging from his lips. The Ji family achieved an overwhelming victory on the southern battlefield. The teenager's face was brimming with astonishment as he looked at the youth. He utterly couldn't imagine how this youth in front of him could command an army and concoct all kinds of brilliant strategies, playing and spinning both of the Ji family's strong enemy factions in circles. The final stroke of dissension he sowed was practically perfect. If it weren't for this youth, the Ji family's battles would have probably lasted at least 2 more years. This youth was the eldest son of the independent state's Ji family. His name was Ji Xiuran. When the teenager was Ji Xiuran's age, he was still wet behind the ears and ignorant about the world's affairs. However, Ji Xiuran was exceptional. He possessed an extremely high intellect and profound shrewdness. His martial technique and strategic capabilities had achieved the pinnacle of perfection already. The youth in front of the teenager was close to being a god. "Young master, how should we take care of the Zhou family's eldest son?" The youth turned around and surveyed the giant box sitting in the back of the car for a moment. "Kill him," Ji Xiuran ordered aloofly. The teenager was startled. The Ji family had 2 mortal enemies, the Zhou family and the Tong family. Right now, the contents of the box was the eldest son of the Zhou family, whom Ji Xiuran had just captured. Although the Ji family had won on the southern battlefields, if they killed the Zhou family's eldest son right now, the Ji family would probably receive ferocious retaliation from the Zhou family. At that point, the Tong family would reap the spoils without doing anything, and the gains wouldn't make up for the Ji family's losses. "Young master, are we really killing him?" the teenager asked hesitantly. Ji Xiuran was expressionless. "I hired the Tong family's mercenaries with Ming's identity to help me escort this item. The route heads northwest. The Tong family mercenaries won't suspect anything." "What do you mean, young master?" The teenager was confused. Having been defeated this time, the Zhou family will naturally send a large number of scouts into the northwest front. If the Zhou family discovers their dead eldest son amongst the Tong family's mercenary team, what would happen? The youth replied calmly. The teenager shivered immediately. The Zhou family and the Tong family would fight until one perished. Even if the Tong family wanted to explain, with a seed of doubt planted by Ji Xiuran, the Zhou family wouldn't believe the Tong family. They would only believe that it was the Tong family who killed their eldest son. Moreover, the Ji family had supposedly been preoccupied on the southern battlefield and didn't have the time to attack the Zhou family's eldest son. Ming. Ji Xiuran turned to a middle-aged man. "Stay here and hand this box to the Tong mercenaries and follow behind. Remember, you need to intentionally be detected by the Zhou family scouts. When the time is right, you can leave," Ji Xiuran said. "Understood." The middle-aged man agreed. The teenager finally understood his young master's purpose. This Ming was a steward of the Tong family who was bribed by Ji Xiuran. Earlier, the teenager was still wondering why Ji Xiuran bribed someone from the Tong family. Ming didn't have any status in the Tong family and was merely an ordinary steward. In the teenager's eyes, there was no need to bribe someone like him. The teenager handled the still unconscious eldest son of the Zhou family inside the box with ease before leaving Ming and the box behind. He then followed Ji Xiuran and left. "Young master, that's brilliant." Halfway there, the teenager gave Ji Xiuran a thumbs up. Ming is a junior steward in the Tong family and isn't connected to the mercenary business in any way. If he's discovered by the Zhou family spies, the Tong family won't be able to explain themselves. Chapter 2457. Ji Xiuran had two objectives for bribing Aming. He employed mercenaries from the Tong family side branch using the identity of a steward from the Tong family's main branch, which lowered the guard of the Tong mercenaries. Then, the Tong mercenaries wouldn't be suspicious or intentionally open the box to check it. Young master, I didn't expect everything to be accounted for within your plan. This way, the Tong family will fight to the death with the Zhou family, and the Ji family won't be threatened by these two families anymore. Just when did you make these preparations? The teenager was brimming with admiration as he stared at the handsome youth. While you were sleeping, Ji Xiuran answered aloofly. The teenager released an embarrassed chuckle before asking, but what if Aming betrays us, young master? What would we do? Ji Xiuran softly replied, his whole family is in my possession. Brilliant. The teenager gave a thumbs up. The Zhou family and the Tong family have acted abominably and committed all kinds of evil deeds. Those two bastard families really thought they were invincible and dared to offend our Ji family. Evil people truly have other evil people tormenting them. It wasn't until Ji Xiuran shot him a glance that the teenager realized his words were remiss and he looked embarrassed. Before the teenager could explain, a girl's blood-curdling scream was heard in the distance. The teenager furrowed his brows and reflexively turned to the origin of the sound. A girl in a leisurely outfit was sent crashing to the ground, but her grip around her dagger remained tight. Next to the girl was a man dressed like a mercenary. Whose child are you? You look 11 or 12 at most, but why would you come asking for death for a mercenary fee? The mercenary apathetically stared at the girl he knocked to the ground. Tell me who sent you here and I can spare your life. Young master, it looks like a bounty defected mercenary, the teenager reported to Ji Xiuran. These defected mercenaries were very common in the independent state. Most of them had committed some terrible deed then defected from their group, so their group would offer a bounty on their heads. Heh, how old is that girl? She looks only 11 or 12, no? But she actually dared to seek trouble from a defected mercenary. How suicidal. The teenager shook his head. Young master, let's hurry and leave. Young master, where are you going? The teenager hastily followed when he saw Ji Xiuran walking toward the girl. Oh, you have companions? No wonder, the defected mercenary remarked coldly with a glance at the girl when he saw a youth approaching. The girl also turned to look at the youth, confusion surfacing in her eyes. She didn't know this good-looking youth. Tell me who sent you three here? Or perhaps your mind became muddled from the mercenary reward. The defected mercenary glanced at the youth, his voice glacial. However, the youth ignored him and stopped next to the girl and knelt down gracefully. His eyes, brilliant as the starry night, met the girl's eyes. Is your name Worryless? The youth adopted a gentle tone. How did you know? The girl nodded, her expression curious. 3 years ago, you and grandfather Nye visited my house. Ji Xiuran smiled and softly patted her hair. Have you forgotten? Your brother Xiuran? The girl's eyes instantly lit up. Does it hurt? The youth touched the girl's slightly swollen cheek. No, the girl shook her head after a moment of silence. Are you three truly suicidal? A murderous intent arose in the defected mercenary when he saw the youth and girl talking in front of him as if he wasn't there. Noisy! The youth frowned and took the girl's dagger. Before the defected mercenary could realize what had happened, a cold glint flashed and the dagger pierced a fatal spot in his body as fast as an arrow leaving its dock. The next second, the defected mercenary's body dropped to the ground and stopped moving after a brief convulsion. To his death, incredulous fear was printed on his face. Chapter 2458. What a blind thing. The youth kicked the defected mercenary's corpse away before looking at the girl. His young master had just said this girl was Worryless. Worryless Nye from the Nye family? Miss Worryless, why are you here by yourself? The youth was bemused. The girl remained silent. Ji Xiuran smiled faintly. That question was superfluous. With Worryless grandpa's personality, he must have intentionally ordered Worryless to come here to train her mental strength. Speaking of which, Worryless Grandpa must be nearby, and he would have immediately shown up if Worryless was really in any danger. Let's go, Jishiran said to the girl with a gentle smile. However, a blush dusted over the girl's cheeks, and she wouldn't get up. From the corner of his eyes, Jishiran discovered that she was wearing only one shoe. The other shoe was probably lost in the scuffle. I lost my shoe, the girl finally replied a long while later, her cheeks red. It's fine. Come, Miss Worryless, I'll carry you, the youth offered. However, the girl still didn't move. Come up, Jishiran said softly as he knelt down. The girl's blush deepened immediately, but she wrapped her arms around the youth's neck and was carried on his back. Brother Shiran, where are we going? The girl asked. I'm taking you home, Jishiran replied with a faint smile. Okay. The girl nodded. After walking a moment, the trio stopped to rest next to a stream. Jishiran sat down next to the stream and used the water to wash his hands before asking the girl, Are you hungry? Little, the girl answered. Jishiran turned to the teenager next to him. But young master, this is your lunch, Jiyu anxiously protested. Jishiran wrinkled his brows. Jiyu jolted in fright and could only hand Jishiran's lunch to the girl. It contained taro as well as some vacuum-sealed cooked beef. Jishiran picked up the taro and peeled off the skin before handing it to her. Brother Shiran, you eat? The girl drooled as she stared at the taro. Jishiran smiled at her expression and patted her on the head. It's fine, I'm not hungry. You eat it all. Don't waste it. How can you not be hungry? You haven't eaten all day, Jiyu quietly grumbled not too far away. When the girl was done eating, Jishiran bent down and carried her on his back again. The trio disappeared into the distance. Whenever Worryless Nye thought about the day she officially met Jishiran, she couldn't help but get lost in her thoughts. At the courtyard in the Ji estate's back hill, many years later, the youth and the girl became a thing of the past. Worryless Nye stared at the intently reading Jishiran and pursed her lips. Great sage. You're here. Jishiran was snapped out of his concentrated state and set down the book, turning to Worryless Nye with a smile. Damn, it's a classic. Are you really trying to be a sage? Worryless Nye teased. Jishiran didn't get angry and merely chuckled. I have nothing to do, so I can only admire the ancients' wisdom. Worryless Nye approached Jishiran. Who doesn't know our brother Shiran's strategic expertise is beyond description? I'm afraid the ancients' wisdom will soon fall behind you, brother Shiran. Worryless, I heard you recently created a group called the Fearless Alliance. A warm smile hung on Jishiran's lips. You know? The girl was startled. What? I'm not enough to play with you? You still need the Fearless Alliance? Jishiran leaned closer to the girl, his eyes exceptionally bewitching and soul-stealing. Chapter 2459. Worryless Nye stared at the man's bewitching eyes, which were as vast as the galaxy. For some reason, she felt her heart starting to race and a blush creeping over her cheeks. How could this man be so good-looking? He was utterly spellbinding. Play with what? Worryless Nye hastily looked away. When Jishiran saw Worryless Nye's reaction, he chuckled and dotingly patted her on the head like he did when they were young. I can do anything you want. I'm hungry. Cook a meal for me, Worryless Nye said. I don't know how. Jishiran shook his head. Worryless Nye, but I can learn. Jishiran smiled at her. Follow me. Where are we going? Worryless Nye asked with intrigue. The kitchen. Jishiran then walked away. In the kitchen of the Ji estate, young master. When all the servants bustling around the kitchen saw Jishiran, they were astonished. Why did young master come to this kind of place? Miss Worryless. Everyone promptly greeted Worryless Nye as well. Are you hungry, young master? What do you want to eat? We'll prepare it immediately. Jishiran replied, No need. All of you can leave. Yes. They didn't know why, but no one dared to question or disobey Jishiran's orders. Soon, Jishiran and Worryless Nye were the only two people left in the enormous kitchen. After the servants retreated, Ji Xiaoran started searching for ingredients in the kitchen. I remember. You like to eat sweet and sour spare ribs. Ji Xiaoran turned to worryless Nye. You know what I like to eat? Worryless Nye found that strange. Ji Xiaoran merely smiled but didn't respond. Worryless Nye watched the man bustling around the kitchen, acting completely unlike the famous demon of the Ji family who awed the people of the independent state. He was also acting unlike a man who was about to become the emperor of the entire underground dynasty and didn't have any bit of arrogance. He was akin to a boy next door who shone like the sun, both warm and comforting. In this world, as long as she had him, as long as he was here, all would be fine. From the beginning, he was the only one she wanted. Brother Xiaoran, you aren't really cooking, right? Worryless Nye stared at Ji Xiaoran. Why can't I? Ji Xiaoran held an apron in his hand and turned to her. But you're Ji Xiaoran. If you really cook for me, I'm afraid I couldn't withstand it. Worryless Nye chuckled. There's a condition, of course. Ji Xiaoran's smile, warm as the spring breeze, intoxicated and mesmerized the girl. What condition? She asked. Come here, Ji Xiaoran said. Worryless Nye automatically walked over. Help me tie it on. Ji Xiaoran handed the apron to Worryless Nye. But I won't help you get dressed. Worryless Nye gave him a crooked grin. If you want me to help you strip though, I can consider that. Okay. Ji Xiaoran wore an inscrutable smile. To the girl, this smile was devoid of all warmth, replaced by wicked seductiveness instead. The girl originally held an advantageous and offensive position, but when she saw him walking closer to her step by step, she panicked instantly, and her eyes darted everywhere. When the man approached her, he grasped her hands. Worryless Nye was fretting over what to do, but Ji Xiaoran simply handed the apron to her. Be good. Help me tie it on. Oh. A blush had subconsciously overtaken Worryless Nye's face. After the competition just now, she was utterly defeated and could only obediently help him tie on the apron. After much hard work, Ji Xiaoran handed a plate of sweet and sour spare ribs to Worryless Nye along with a bowl of rice. So delicious, eat some vegetables too. Seeing the trace of warmth in his eyes, the girl felt like she possessed the whole world. Chapter 2460. As the man and the girl made their way from the kitchen back to the courtyard near the rear hill, the sun shone brilliantly and a breeze brushed over them, adding to the content atmosphere. Ji Xiaoran sat down in the courtyard and picked up a classic text again, slowly reading it. On the other hand, Worryless Nye was sitting next to Ji Xiaoran, occasionally looking at him. Is the book that interesting? Worryless Nye asked. It can't match up to 1/10,000th of you, Ji Xiaoran casually responded. Before the girl could say anything else, Ji Xiaoran set the book down. The proceedings of the Fearless Alliance don't seem to be going smoothly. The girl was silent. Indeed, the Fearless Alliance was facing a great hurdle and had crossed some long-established major factions, so they were literally surviving in the cracks. It's nothing. Things are going rather smoothly, actually. The girl forced a smile. As long as things are going well. Ji Xiaoran nodded gently. After Worryless Nye left, Skeleton, Ji Xiaoran called. A thin man appeared. Ji Xiaoran didn't take his eyes off of his book and kept reading as he ordered. Eliminate every entity that threatens the Fearless Alliance. Withhold all mercy. Yes. Skeleton took his leave a second later. Young master, Ji looked at Ji Xiaoran. Our situation right now isn't optimistic either. The Tong family and the remnants of the Zhou family teamed up with the previous leader of the Underground Empire. We should avoid trouble. However, Ji Xiaoran didn't look up and replied detachedly, Don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Young master? Sigh, all right. Ji Yu was exasperated. Had his young master gone mad? This next period of time was most vital for the young master. Whether he could rule the entire Underground Empire or not would depend on this. Furthermore, the Tong and Zhou families were attentively watching Ji Xiaoran, wanting to eliminate Ji Xiaoran first so the others would collapse. Yet, he was dispatching Skeleton and his group to help that ridiculous Fearless Alliance. Late at night, at the headquarters of a major faction, several higher-ups were facing off against a great enemy. These people actually managed to covertly infiltrate their headquarters and successfully avoided all detection, catching them completely off guard. Just how did they do it? Skeleton grimly stood next to a man. The man wore an overcoat and leather gloves. I heard you guys schemed and injured by Feng of the Fearless Alliance. The man, Jishiran, had a faint smile on his lips, but it sent onlookers shivering. Skeleton looked at his master. This smile was a true sign that this man was genuinely angry, a rare occasion. By Feng. A higher-up snorted. I was wondering who you were. So you're from the Fearless Alliance. What did you think you could do by sneaking inside our headquarters? I'm telling you, we've set up an elaborate trap around this place. All of you will die. We've disabled your elaborate trap already. How else do you think we entered? Jiyu interjected coldly. What? The expressions of several managers changed at once. What kind of joke were they playing? What should we do with them, Emperor Ji? Skeleton asked. Emperor Ji? Everyone was stunned when they discovered the identity of this man. This man was Emperor Ji. Emperor Ji. Could it be your Ji Shiran of the Ji family? A manager shuddered. Impossible. How could Ji Shiran have any connection to the Fearless Alliance, and that by Feng? That was absolutely impossible. Who was Ji Shiran? Although he rarely made appearances in the independent state and very few people had ever seen Ji Shiran's true appearance, his ferocious name had reverberated through the independent state since he was young. From now on, you'll be struck off from the independent state, Ji Shiran aloofly said. Soon, a raging flame started to take over the headquarters, swallowing it whole. He wouldn't forgive any entity that harmed her. He would only destroy and erase their existence. Perhaps feeling a bit chilly, the man wrapped his overcoat around him more tightly. Then he led his group away without looking back. Chapter 2461, Side Story, Ji Shiran 6. The Independent State. It was winter and heavy snow fluttered from the sky like goose feathers throughout the entire day. In the rear courtyard of the headquarters of Emperor Ji's faction, Ji Shiran was wearing a thick overcoat while his head of long hair was casually draped behind him. Currently, the man was kneeling down and meticulously caring for the fruits and vegetables he personally planted. Brother Shiran, are you planning to retire and return to civilian life? Worryless Nya asked from her seat in the courtyard as she watched Ji Shiran, who had quite a few splatters of rain and snow on his body. She didn't understand why this man planted these fruits and vegetables. Retire and return to civilian life? Ji Shiran murmured softly, startled. Retire and return to civilian life, Worryless Nya said jokingly. What? Is this the life you want? Ji Shiran turned to Worryless Nya. The life I want, Worryless Nya pondered for a moment with her chin propped on her hand. A few fields, 3 meals of salted vegetables, working from sunrise to sunset? Ordinary and peaceful. Ji Shiran smiled. Are you willing to leave it all behind? Why wouldn't I? You though, are you willing to leave it all behind? Worryless Nya asked Ji Shiran. Ji Shiran was startled. Your future includes me too? Of course. Worryless Nya dashed forward and looped her arm around his arm. I can be without everyone. I just can't go without you in my life. But I'm not willing. Ji Shiran shook his head. The anticipation in Worryless Nya's eyes instantly turned into an indescribable emotion. I'm not willing to make you eat only pickled vegetables for all 3 meals, so how about we add some sweet and sour spare ribs? Ji Shiran chuckled lightly. Fuck, what's going on with this man? Brother Shiran, are you willing to leave this life and abandon everything? Worryless Nya was incredulous. In the independent state, he was akin to an emperor who lorded over the world and possessed almost supreme power. Ji Shiran shook his head and slowly stood up. He wrapped the girl's jacket around her more tightly as he said, I wouldn't unless I was trading this life for you. Really? Worryless Nya stood in her spot, watching his movements before meeting his enthralling, gentle eyes. She felt that her heart had been melted by his blazing warmth already. What do you think? The man tapped the tip of her nose with his finger. Go in first, it's cold out here. Ji Xiaoran turned around and picked some of the vegetables and fruits he planted. I grew these myself since I don't trust other people's produce. Come over to eat often. These are all very healthy. You planted all of this for me? Worryless Nye was astonished. The corners of his lips turned up, happiness also surfacing in his eyes. After he finished picking the produce, he walked forward and grasped her hand before leading her toward the kitchen. Ji Xiaoran's culinary skills had been honed more and more exquisitely. His dishes looked and smelled amazing and tasted incredible, especially his sweet and sour spare ribs. Worryless Nye wanted nothing more than to inhale even the plate. However, the girl didn't like eating vegetables and only consumed meat, aside from Ji Xiaoran's vegetables. That evening, anyone who looked down from the hilltop at Emperor Ji's headquarters would have a panoramic view of the resplendence below. The man sat at the mountain top, the girl sitting next to him. You've worked hard for all of this for a very long time, the girl commented softly. That's right. I haven't stopped since I was a youth. Ji Xiaoran nodded. My fearless alliance is also very fearsome right now. It's strange though. The factions that kept oppressing us before have all disappeared, Worryless Nye said. That's good. Ji Xiaoran smiled. The girl turned to him. But it's not your doing, right? It isn't. The man shook his head. Suspicious. Worryless Nye pursed her lips. Chapter 2462, Side Story, Ji Xiaoran 7. If you like it, all of this can be yours, Ji Xiaoran said with a chuckle as he looked at the world below him. It can be mine? The girl also surveyed the land underneath them. This was akin to an empire. But your Emperor Ji, are you willing to yield everything to me? Worryless Nye joked. If you want to become Emperor Nye, Ji Xiaoran replied. Emperor Nye? Worryless Nye hastily shook her head. Forget it, that sounds terrible. I would rather keep being by phone. Before the girl could say anything else, the man tugged her into his arms. Caught off guard, the girl fell against his chest. When Worryless Nye recovered, a blush instantly covered her face. She'd never experienced this reddening and heart-racing feeling. Although there were many good-looking men in the world, Ji Xiaoran's uniqueness was irreplaceable. Don't work too hard, Ji Xiaoran softly said. You're the one working hard, Worryless Nye retorted. Oh right. Lately, the Tong family, the Zhou family, and that Li Chun you defeated have released word that they want your life. You know about that, right? I don't. Ji Xiaoran shook his head. You don't know? Worryless Nye was stunned. How could you not know? Isn't that too dangerous? I don't care too much about things said by strays. Ji Xiaoran smiled. You must protect yourself well, all right? The girl was filled with worry. Ji Xiaoran agreed. Your complexion doesn't look too good. The girl carefully examined his face. Maybe it's because of the cold. Let's go back inside. Ji Xiaoran stood up and naturally took her hand into his before leaving this place. A few days later, inside the study of Emperor Ji's headquarters, Emperor Ji, Skeleton quickly strode inside. Speak, Ji Xiaoran said. It's regarding Miss Worryless. Skeleton was hesitant. The man instantly furrowed his brows. What happened? Miss Worryless fell to the Zhou family, the Tong family, and Li Chun's ploy, and was captured, Skeleton reported truthfully. The always calm man shot up instantly. Never seen before, iciness and violent rage erupted from his eyes and veins bulged on his forehead. He set his hand on his desk as if he was trying to calm himself down. However, a loud boom rang out and wooden pieces scattered everywhere. The desk had been crushed. Emperor Ji, Skeleton was shocked. This was the first time in his life that he had ever seen his master on the brink of losing all rationality. When had the always scheming and confident Emperor Ji looked the way he did today? Who leaked it out? The man was expressionless. However, Skeleton could sense that the man was restraining the wild beast that was about to shatter its cage and leap outside of him. Emperor Ji. No one knows about your relationship with the president of the Fearless Alliance, Bai Feng. I think that someone from our side probably saw Miss Worryless visiting our headquarters and accidentally divulged it, Skeleton hastily explained. Find them and kill without mercy, the man commanded. Yes, how's the situation at the Fearless Alliance? Ji Shiran asked. The Fearless Alliance has no idea Miss Worryless was captured. The Zhou family, the Tong family, and Li Chun paid a huge price this time, but even so, they suffered extensive damage and a dozen or so higher-ups were killed. Miss Worryless fought to the verge of exhaustion, but unfortunately, her opponents were too contemptible and too great in numbers, Skeleton replied. The man was frighteningly quiet, but Skeleton could sense the other man's insuppressible violent undercurrents. Chapter 2463, Side Story, Ji Shiran 8, Give it to me. Ji Shiran extended his hand toward Skeleton. Give what to you, Emperor Ji? Shock flitted through Skeleton's face, but he quickly concealed it. The letter that Li Chun, the Zhou family, and the Tong family left for me, the man replied. Skeleton frowned deeply. How did Emperor Ji know? They have no grievances or grudges against Worryless. Li Chun and his group captured Worryless for no reason other than to force me to show up. Since they did it so covertly, they would have naturally left clues and a letter for me. Otherwise, what would be the point of abducting Worryless? The man added. Emperor. But Skeleton was hesitant. Don't make me say it a second time. The man was already on the brink of losing his rationality. In the end, Skeleton sighed and handed the letter to Ji Shiran. After reading the letter, Ji Shiran ordered, No one is allowed to act rashly. I'll keep the appointment. What? Skeleton was aghast. What? He'll keep the appointment? That's an absolutely suicidal appointment. Emperor Ji, you mustn't. They went through Herculean efforts to abduct Miss Worryless because they wanted to make you give in. If you really meet with them, you'll die without a doubt. Skeleton hastily tried to stop him. As long as she's fine, my life is unimportant, the man murmured. This was the only mistake in his life, but one sole mistake could become an unredeemable blunder. No, Emperor Ji, if you go, both you and Miss Worryless will probably. If you don't go, Miss Worryless' life temporarily won't be at risk. After all, you're their only target. Skeleton said. Don't make me repeat myself, the man said coldly. Emperor Ji, scram. Skeleton could only clench his teeth and retreat. In a secret room, the girl was covered in blood and had her arms and legs bound, but her energy was still decent and she was icily and darkly staring at everyone in the room. I wonder if Ji Shiran truly cares about your life or not, a tall man said coldly as he looked at Worryless Nya. I heard Bai Feng and Ji Shiran had a good relationship. Even if Ji Shiran doesn't care about her life, we can strengthen our cause by using this opportunity to subsume the Fearless Alliance, Patriarch Tong interjected. Back then, Ji Shiran plotted and killed my son. This time, I'll definitely obliterate him. With just you guys? Worryless Nya stared at Li Chun, Patriarch Zhou, and their henchmen and snorted. You overestimate yourselves. Indeed, if we didn't have you in our possession, perhaps we really would be overestimating ourselves. But with you here, everything is different. Li Chun glanced at Worryless Nya. Me? Worryless Nya shook her head. It appears I'll really have to disappoint you. Ji Shiran and I only have a business relationship. The Fearless Alliance has only just recently collaborated with Emperor Ji. It appears you've rashly acted without making thorough investigations. A shock swept over the occupants of the room. Ji Shiran, I prohibit you from coming. You mustn't come. Worryless Nya might have looked composed and placid on the surface, but anxiety had drowned her insides. Patriarch. A middle-aged man suddenly burst in. Ji Shiran is here. Really? Patriarch Tong's eyes lit up. I saw it myself. And he's all by himself. The middle-aged man replied. Good. Wonderful. Patriarch Zhou was steaming with excitement. Son, I can finally avenge you. Worryless Nya froze. You still came. Is he an idiot? Doesn't he know this is a fatal plot with no possibility of survival? Why would he do this? Soon, a round of knocking was heard. The middle-aged man opened the door. In his overcoat, the man apathetically stood in front of the door. Is this a good time? Ah, welcome, Emperor Ji. Pardon me for not going out to meet you. You're welcome, you're too welcome. We were all waiting for you. Patriarch Tong chuckled. Chapter 2464, Side Story. Ji Shiran 9. The man pulled his jacket around himself more tightly before strolling into the room without any hesitation. Bam! The door was forcefully slammed shut following Ji Shiran's entrance. Ji Shiran, why did you come here? Are you stupid? A mist enveloped the girl's eyes when she saw Ji Shiran. He will die. However, the man didn't respond and swept his eyes over everyone else in the room. May I ask what everyone intended by employing this type of method to invite me here? It's nothing major. I just missed you dearly after not seeing you for a long time, Emperor Ji. We mainly wanted to see you and chat, Li Chun replied. Patriarch Shou snorted. Ji Shiran, back then, you killed my son and framed the Tong family for it, making both of our families suffer immensely. You didn't expect to see this day, right? Ji Shiran's lips turned up and he nonchalantly said, You were merely too stupid. Ha, what kind of situation are we in? Your mouth is still so tough. Fine, since you're willing to come and meet your death for this woman, I'll respect you as a real man. You killed my son back then, so I will make this woman die in front of you today. Patriarch Shou turned to the middle-aged man standing to the side and ordered, Pierce her eyes first. That will be my greeting gift for Emperor Ji. The middle-aged man nodded and instantly directed his dagger toward Worryless Nye. Worryless Nye could hear the frightening sound of the dagger breaking the wind. Reflexively, she closed her eyes. It was the sound of a blade piercing flesh. The girl felt several droplets of fiery warmth landing on her face. Worryless Nye's eyes shot open. The scene that greeted her made her pupils contract. The man shielded her behind him, his long hair flying in the air. However, his ink-colored hair was tainted with stains of blood. The dagger had pierced through the man's palm. Slash drip, drip. Slash droplets of blood followed Ji Shiran's fingers and fell onto the floor. Brother Shiran. Worryless Nye couldn't hold back her tears. The man turned back, his lips curling up into a smile directed at the girl. It was still that familiar smile with immense warmth overflowing from his eyes, as though he was still that sunny boy next door from their youth. Ha, you truly are Emperor Ji. If we didn't belong to different camps, I would really want to befriend you, Emperor Ji. After you die, I'll bury you honorably. You're a true man. Li Chun praised Ji Shiran. This noble man actually used his own hand to block a fatal blow for the girl. Ji Shiran sent the middle-aged man flying back with his palm before walking toward Worryless Nye without looking back. He surveyed the girl's wounds and softly asked, It hurts a lot, right? It doesn't. It doesn't hurt. Hurry and leave. Ji Shiran, leave. She screamed at the man with every bit of energy inside of her. However, a second later, the man embraced her. Sorry, it's my fault. No, it really isn't. Tears soaked the man's overcoat and the girl vehemently shook her head in his arms. Worryless. Don't be afraid. Regardless of where you are or what you go through, I'll stay with you, the man reassured her softly. I'm not afraid. As long as you're here, I'm not afraid. Brother Shiran, I'm not afraid, but if the outcome is death, I don't want you to be here. The girl had never been as relaxed as she was now in the man's embrace. That resilient and strong president of the Fearless Alliance, Bai Feng, was now that small girl from when she was with Ji Shiran years ago. She would drool whenever she saw something yummy, she would make the boy carry her when she was tired, she would blush, and she would act like a child. Even if you die, I'll be by your side, the man said. Chapter 2465, Side Story. Ji Shiran 10 tears welled in the girl's eyes as she stared at the man. I don't want you to die, Worryless, I won't let you die. The man gave her a comforting smile. Before Worryless Nya could respond, Ji Shiran asked, Tell me, who injured you? That's not important. The girl shook her head with a smile. It's important to me, Ji Shiran expressionlessly replied. The girl's gaze landed on the middle-aged man holding a backsword earlier. Is that so? Ji Shiran slowly stood up, his gaze landing on the middle-aged man. Haha, Ji Shiran, haven't you grasped the situation and circumstances yet? The middle-aged man didn't have a trace of fear on his face as he looked at Ji Shiran. Ji Shiran disappeared from his spot and reappeared next to the middle-aged man. Swish. Without wasting any words, Ji Shiran uncoiled his right arm and blood sprayed into the air a second later. The smile on the middle-aged man's face froze, swiftly replaced by fear. The middle-aged man clutched his neck with his hands, but the blood couldn't be stopped. His jugular was slashed by Ji Shiran, but the middle-aged man had no idea how Ji Shiran did it up until his death. Ji Shiran aloofly said, My situation has nothing to do with how you harmed her. Ha, you're Emperor Ji indeed. They all say Emperor Ji is powerful, and I originally thought they were just rumors. It's my first time seeing Emperor Ji fight. My horizons have been widened. Li Chun clapped with a laugh. Ji Shiran didn't respond and turned around to walk toward the girl. He used his dagger to untie her arms and legs. Can you walk? Ji Shiran inquired quietly. Worryless Nya shook her head. No, I can't walk, right now, come. Ji Shiran bent down. No, brother Shiran, I'm begging you. If you don't take me, I believe, you can leave. Worryless Nya was unwilling. Ji Shiran shook his head and carried the girl on his back. Ji Shiran, this is my first time seeing you lower your head and bowing. Is a woman worth it? Even if it costs you your life? Li Chun's eyes glinted coldly. The man didn't answer and slowly walked forward with the girl on his back, step by step. Kill him, Li Chun ordered. Countless blades shone and gleamed ceaselessly. The man kicked and sent the people closest to him flying back like a dragon erupting from the sea. Idiots! Ji Shiran's weakness is by phone. Li Chun taunted. Everyone changed their target and started attacking Worryless Nya. It wasn't long before the man was covered in blood and his overcoat was dyed red. The man's body was trembling slightly, but his face remained devoid of any expression. Brother Shiran, don't torment me like this anymore. Don't block blows for me anymore. I'm begging you. Behind the man, the girl's voice was broken with sobs. The man turned his head, a gentle smile hanging on his face. It doesn't hurt. You aren't hurting, but I'm hurting. The girl was hysterical. Worryless. I will get you out of here, the man promised after a moment of silence. Ji Shiran, I would like to see how you will be able to walk out of here alive. Li Chun leaped up, his dagger ferociously directed toward Worryless Nya. Ji Shiran instantly spun around. The dagger pierced into Ji Shiran's chest. Li Chun, do you think you've won? The man asked apathetically. Chapter 2466, Side Story. Ji Shiran 11, is that not so? Li Chun snorted. Your blood is boiling. Attack, Ji Shiran ordered expressionlessly. Li Chun was startled. Before Li Chun could react, a chilly glint flashed in the eyes of the experts behind Li Chun and their daggers ruthlessly pierced Li Chun's back at once. Why you? Li Chun turned around in shock and stared at his two confidants. Apologies. We've been Emperor Ji's men since long ago. One of the confidants replied coldly. Swish. The other man was unwilling to waste his words and stabbed his dagger into Li Chun's neck. Upon seeing this, Patriarch Zhou and Patriarch Tong exploded with rage. This god. Damn. Ji Shiran. Li Chun was extremely strong and was considered among the A+ tier fighting forces in the independent state. Plus, they had the advantage in numbers, so even if Li Chun's confidants were Ji Shiran's men, Ji Shiran didn't dare to act rashly. He waited until Li Chun was relaxed enough before striking the fatal blow. Ji Shiran. He had been waiting this whole time. He actually gambled with his own life. This bastard had planned everything since the first step he took inside of this place. Unfortunately, Li Chun thought he'd completely defeated Ji Xiuran but was merely floundering inside Ji Xiuran's trap this entire time. Even if this was a dead-end fatal plot, Ji Xiuran gambled with his life, and he won. Li Chun was dead. The remaining people were nothing. Emperor Ji. As the two confidants looked at Ji Xiuran's swaying figure, their expressions revealed their trepidation. Ignore me. Ji Xiuran glanced at Patriarch Zhou and Patriarch Tong. Make them taste all of the pain in this world. After saying that, the man carried the girl and left the place without looking back. Snow fluttered around them, and every single one of the man's steps appeared especially strained. Brother Xiuran, put me down. The girl struggled. Finally, the girl struggled free and the man fell on a pile of snow. Gratification brimmed from the man's stunning face. He reached out and patted her long hair. Are you scared? I'm scared you'll die. Ji Xiuran, you idiot. The girl clutched Ji Xiuran in her arms. If you die, what's the point in me living? You shouldn't have come. The man turned silent and didn't respond. But if you died, what's the point in me living? Half a month later, Ji Xiuran, you're rather fearsome. Hai Tang mocked as she watched the man who could leave the bed and walk already. What is it? Ji Xiuran asked. You were both nearly killed, Hai Tang said. It's fine to just look at the outcome, Ji Xiuran replied. Ji Xiuran, I'm asking you, just what does worryless mean to you? Hai Tang asked a long while later, meeting Ji Xiuran's eyes. Ji Xiuran smiled faintly but didn't answer. He didn't need to share the answer with anyone. Sis Hai Tang. At that moment, worryless Nye walked inside with a pile of lunchboxes. Your true love is here. I'm leaving. Hai Tang smiled and turned to leave. You're here. Ji Xiuran looked at worryless Nye. Hurry and eat. I made delicious food for you. Worryless Nye exclaimed cheerfully. Ji Xiuran placidly sat back down on the bed and watched the girl open all the lunchboxes for him. This is soup brewed with an old hen to help you recuperate your blood. Here are some stir-fried dishes too, worryless Nye said. She then picked up a spoon and ordered him, open your mouth. Ji Xiuran, does it taste good? The girl was eager. I lost my sense of taste looking at you and I can't taste the deliciousness of food anymore, Ji Xiuran said with a smile. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.